Well, it's been one hot minute since I made a video on this world, and a lot has changed. You see, even though I was not making videos, I was still playing on this server. So I'm gonna make this video a recap of everything that's happened on the server since April 27th. Oh god. And start any new projects in the next video. Oh, and as a quick disclaimer, remember that sorting system that I built in the last episode? Well, it's kinda really laggy on the client, and of course, I'm gonna be near it for most of this video, so I apologize for any video lag. Now that that's out of the way, let's start with the first project, which is actually right in front of me. Yeah. This is the largest project we worked on, and I think the entire server's lifetime, which kind of crazy, it's only been about a year now. This is our new super fast XP farm, and it's still not fully done. You see, we actually can make this farm much faster, but we just haven't because it's unnecessary. But don't worry, if we're bored enough, we'll make it faster. Oh, I should probably actually explain what this farm is. For those of you who can't recognize this, this is actually a guardian farm, and the reason that we chose a guardian farm, even though it is a lot of work to make perimeter conditions, as you may be able to see, guardians are the fastest spawning and best source of XP that you can really get in the overworlds, really in the entire game. You know, the funny thing is, this perimeter was technically not necessary because guardian farms are so fast and they have such a high priority on the mob cap that they don't actually need perimeter conditions to still be really fast. But you know, since we're a server of extremes, we can't just not make a perimeter. Also, this perimeter is a lot nicer looking than our other one. In total, we removed about 500,000 water blocks. We also placed about 70,000 dirt. It was a lot of work, but honestly, I think the outcome was worth it. This is one of the coolest looking things I think I've ever built in this game. It's just so cool to watch the ocean just fall off into the perimeter. You know, thinking about it now, I should probably actually show you the farm. So in this center gray area, this is where the monument used to be and where all the guardians can spawn, as you can see in our first spawning chamber. Just as a quick disclaimer, I forgot to credit the person who made this farm. It was Nenbum. And just as a reminder, all credit will be down in the description. Now, this is not an exact measurement, but I think we can fit 18 of these spawning chambers in here. We only have one right now, and again, I will show you the speed of this farm momentarily. So the actual farm itself is actually not up here, it's underground. So I made this little elevator system to get down there, and I think it came out pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Now, this area is not fully complete, that's why it's undecorated, but we have done a lot of work in here. So we made this little hub area. I think it looks really nice, and this hub area kind of splits up where things are. This will be where the actual farm is. Over here is the storage, and then over there is our villager trading hall. I think I'm going to start with the actual farm first. So I hooked up an auto brewing system because to kill the guardians, we have the issue where guardians have thorns. So when you hit them, they actually hit you back. So it's kind of annoying when you're working with hundreds of them. So to negate the thorns damage, you can throw an instant harming potion, which is what we have here. We have an auto brewing system to give us instant damage potions. Now the auto brewer is not working quite right. I've been trying to fix issues with it, and I did quite a big overhaul recently, and it's still not fully working. And also, I'm not gonna explain it because if you look, it's kind of ridiculous. Basically, all you need to know is that all the ingredients go into the brewing stand, and when it's finished, it pushes it into this hopper line, which will go into these droppers, which will be dispensed to the player standing up here. Now let's actually give this farm a shot. Now the interesting thing about this farm is that it negates the mob cap. Now usually when the mob spawning algorithm works, it usually looks to see if there's less than 70 mobs around the player. If there's any more, it'll stop spawning them immediately, and that really slows down farms quite a lot. But each dimension has a separate mob cap, so what we can do is we can send these guardians to the nether, and by sending them to the nether, that frees up the mob cap. And if we free up the mob cap, that allows more to spawn, so we get way more than we're supposed to. You can see they'll start coming through the portal in batches of a ridiculous amount. It honestly just looks like the portal's puking out guardians. They'll all build up here, and you can hear the item collection already running. And all you have to do is aim between the arrows, throw the potion, and boom. And you can see my XP bar is steadily rising. It honestly looks like a progress bar at this rate. Now, there's this trick. If you hold out your sword while you throw the potion, and your sword has the looting effect on it, you will actually get the looting effect when you kill them with the potion, making this farm produce up to a whopping 160,000 items per hour. Kinda ridiculous, I know. And they just keep floating. You can send another one, boom, and you get a new potion. And once you use the looting effects, the item collection system just spazzes out. I'm gonna quickly turn off the farm. So yeah, this farm is pretty ridiculous. Now you might be asking, what are we gonna do with all of these levels? Well, we can go to the villager trading hall and get all of our perfect gear. So I can't believe how lucky we were, but we got a villager with the perfect shovel and axe. And I mean perfect, I mean you get the perfect enchantment from this. It is impossible to get better enchantments on your shovel and axe than you can with this guy, so that's really awesome. And then on this guy, we have the perfect pickaxe just to complete it. Now, a villager trading hall, it's not that interesting. It's not fully complete, as you can see by the stone behind the villagers. But basically, the entire idea behind this is you would flick this lever, and there would be a zombie down there, and it would kill them. And then you give them a weakness potion, a golden apple, and it'll convert them back into a villager with lower trades. Now, we don't have that fully set up yet. I honestly don't know if we're ever going to do it, because it's just so unnecessary for us. Now, we mostly get our emeralds from iron to emerald trades, as you can see here. So I made a little shulker box system where you can take all of the iron out of a shulker box, it'll break it, and dispense a new full box of iron. And you can go over to your villager and just trade all you want with him, all of your iron, and get it. Ton of emeralds. Over here we have our villager breeder set up. Back here we have an infinite villager breeder, which we have off right now. And then the baby villagers will come up here and they'll kind of sit here. And then when we want a villager, all we have to do is press a new villager button. One will appear here and we can put whatever job site we want for the villager. So for instance, if we wanted a librarian, we put a lectern. And if we want a blacksmith, we put down a smithing table. And then we trade with them, and if their trades are bad, we dispose of them. But if they're good, we send them to the trading hall, and they get to sit here in their pen for the rest of their life. Very humane, I know. And to wrap up this mega project, here is our storage system. We have gotten a lot of prismarine shards over the time we've been using this. And that also includes prismarine crystals, and actually a lot of cod and salmon and pufferfish. So yeah, we're set with all the prismarine stuff for the rest of the server's lifetime. Now we're going to move to a more decorative side of the server where we made a ton of changes to our main base area. Also, since this farm is so heavily used, we actually wanted a fast way to get here, for instance, a piston bolt. Now these can be pretty loud, so I'm going to lower the volume. Basically, a piston bolt is a way to make a minecart a lot faster, aka on straights about 50 miles per hour and on diagonals about 70 miles per hour. Now this is not exact, but it's pretty close. And this is our station that you can tell is quite unfinished. But hey, we all gotta start somewhere, right? Now, if you don't know where this is actually right down to where our sorting system is. And speaking of that, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this. We updated to 1.17. I don't know why I didn't mention that in the beginning. But if we updated to 1.17, that means we upgraded the sorting system to have all of the 1.17 items, and that includes the 36 variants of copper. But yeah, we expanded the sorting system, and those vines are spreading. We did some optimizations to the chunk loading and all of the item unloading, but this has stayed almost exactly the same, and nothing's really changed. In this main hub area, I did a little bit of redecoration, so it looks nicer. We got every record. That took a lot longer than I thought it would. We just couldn't get stall and ward. It took like 5,000 creepers. We just couldn't get them. Over here we have a really small snow farm, which is just so unnecessary. Basically, you just align your crosshair, so if you mine with your shovel, hit both, and then hold down left click. And I don't even know. This is so unnecessary. This tiny little farm produces, I think, 72,000 items per hour. Like, why? And to close up this side, we also have the map rooms. Now, the map rooms are pretty cool. These are not fully updated, but you can see this is our main base on top. You can see a lot has changed. And you can also see the awesomeness that is our Guardian farm over there. It looks so cool. And if we go through this, we can actually look at what's changed at the Witch farm and Perimeter, and as you can see, a lot has changed. More on that later. Now moving over to the other side, I have showed you most of this, and when I mean most of this, I mean only the concrete powder to concrete farm. This hasn't changed at all. Nothing is different. Over here though, we have added a bulk storage, so if our sorting system chests fill up, for instance our stone chest, it'll go to these chests in the back, which will pack them into shulker boxes and fill them up. So per row we have about 400,000 items of storage. It should be enough. We use stone, dirt, cobblestone, all of that a lot, so we actually do burn through pretty quickly, so it usually stays at around this level of insanity. Oh, also we added a rockets one because we use rockets a lot, and it feels weird not to have a steady supply and a ton of rockets at once. Now on this side, this is definitely something I have not shown, and this is the furnace array. This furnace array smelts at almost double hopper speed, so around 18,000 items per hour, much faster than a normal furnace. And honestly, the way it works is not too complex. What we do is we evenly distribute all of the items between 47 furnaces at a time, and then they all smelt at the same time, thereby getting 47 times speed. We actually don't use minecarts, which most people would use. We actually use redstone because minecarts can be laggy and they're entities, and entities are not usually as easy to work with. So we just use redstone, and it's working fine. I got this design from Il Mango and then just stacked it on top of each other and added this part up here. Works perfectly. So there's two ways that we can smelt this. We could just put it into the input chest here, or let's say we have an entire shulker box of sand we want to turn into glass. We just place it in here, and you can see it'll start unloading into the system, and the items will make their way through the hoppers, and let there be light. All of the furnaces turn on, and their items will flow down these hoppers when they finish, and out these droppers in the back, up this bubble column, and into this chest. We also have a fuel indicator light and a fuel input right here. So a pretty standard furnace array design, super useful. We really needed it, and hey man, it's cut off hours of time. I think that about wraps up down here. Not much else has changed. I think I may have expanded the chunk loading grid a bit. Oh, maybe this. I should probably explain this. So let's say you just get back from a project and you got a bunch of shulker boxes just full of junk, and you don't want to manually put into this chest. Well, that's what this is for. It's just shulker box compatibility for this place. So I have my shulker box full of stuff. I put it in here. You see it gets taken. It gets placed down here, and then all the items get emptied out. They come up this water stream, up the top here, and into the sorting system right here. Nothing too fancy, but nice nonetheless. Now let's go up to the top. This is where a bunch of changes have happened that have mainly just been decorative. So as you can see up here, that whole monument design that we had, we got rid of it, and we just made a nice little lake with some trees around it. We built up this little residential district. Don't ask what this is over here. And we also built this little pier here. It looks really nice. It's like a fishing area. Just some nice new builds. They look nice, add atmosphere. Somebody also built up this floating island, which is not fully complete, but I think it looks really nice. I really like the way it came out. Over here was the universal tree farm. I just tore that down. What was I just hit? Oh. Alright, now that that phantom's been dealt with, this used to be where the universal tree farm was. We just tore that down because it wasn't working and nobody was fixing it. So we just tore it down, flattened it out, and now it looks like this, which I personally think is a major improvement over what it was. Remember how I said I had future plans for this pit? Well, actually, you probably don't because it's been so long since I said that. Basically, what we did is we built a huge vault down here with password protection. Now, to show you the password, that would defeat the entire purpose, but as you can see, the door slides open when we get the correct password, and here is our diamond stash. We also have an extra stash of elytras in here. It's nice. It's kind of just for decoration. Anybody can just mine in, but it's nice nonetheless. Just a fun project. And I think that's most of the changes. We did a bunch of terraforming. We also expanded and spawn-proofed most of this peninsula area, so we get a nice view of the Guardian farm. Man, this view looks so sick. You know, this was so long ago, I almost forgot. We actually built a memorial for what we call the incident. This is referring to the Wither attack that happened where we lost control of the Wither in episode 4. See, our server was created August 20th of 2020. That's when we built up the base and everything. And that's when the incident happened and we lost the entire main base. This is one of our houses and it kind of got annihilated. You know, when I first started making this video, I thought it would only be like 10 to 15 minutes long, and that's what I intend to make it. But there is still a lot more to show you of what has changed on the server, and I just don't want to throw it all in one video so it's not too boring. So I'm going to split this video into 2 parts. The second part of the progress update will come out at a later time. I'm not fully sure when. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this progress update. I hope you're excited for the next one. See ya.